What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I hope you're all having a great day today. Playing competitive is often an intense and emotional activity, for some at least. Ranking up is a pretty good feeling. When it happens, you get a sense of self-accomplishment and achievement. If you're like me though, you'll begin to feel the pressure as you learn how different each rank really is. In this video, we'll be talking about mindsets and how good ones can actually improve your playing. Let's start off with some poor mindsets first, just so we can get a sense of what you shouldn't do. For a lot of people, they've never changed ranks before, and the longer you stay in your rank, it almost feels like that's all there is to the game. Without stepping foot out of your rank, you don't get to see the players who are worse or better than you, and your whole competitive experience begins to get a little sour or toxic. An example of a poor mindset is thinking that you should be in a higher rank than you are. Everything that goes into the general skill set that defines your rank includes you. You are one of the players that contributes to the description of good positioning, bad positioning, ultimate economy, balance, aiming, and tracking, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff for your rank. The second example of a poor mindset is thinking that you're in your rank because of throwers and levers. I mean, I understand how you feel, but quite honestly, that's not the only thing holding you back. If you blame everything that's ever happened to you on throwers and levers, then really, how will you ever get good enough to leave your rank? The thought that you are the best player to ever exist and the ranking system isn't doing its job is simply ludicrous. Ranking systems have their purpose, you know, and the devs put a lot of time into how they work. If you think you're the only person who's ever experienced throwers and levers, I have some interesting news for you. Everyone, and I mean every single player who plays competitive on a regular basis, no matter what the rank, experiences just as many throwers and levers on a weekly basis as you. I'm not going to say daily because some days are better than others, but overall in general week, basically we're all just the exact same. And I know, it sucks. Being super close to ranking up and getting a thrower is just the worst thing, but you're not the only person it's happened to. The whole reason I'm talking about this is because these are the mindsets you need to change in order to improve. If you have one of these mindsets, that's totally okay because you now know what doesn't work. Now that we've covered things that will keep you in your rank till the day you die, I'll bestow the sacred knowledge of a good mindset. Just a side note, this is what I used to get from silver all the way to diamond in season 4, and I learned this from another video. Wait, am I allowed to do that? This isn't plagiarism, right? No? Okay, that's good. So, let me bestow my wisdom, pupils. I don't really know how to describe this, but it's best described as blaming everything on yourself. But like, not in a self-deprecating kind of way, it's weird, but even when it's not your fault, you have to tell yourself that it is. Again, it's a really weird way to think, but it works. It's probably best described with an example. Let's say you're playing Genji, and was one enemy poking at you from behind a corner. You can tell when they're going to come out next, and you use Reflect to protect yourself. Well, the enemy team then comes out and starts throwing hundreds of damage in deflectable projectiles at your team, wiping you all out within a couple seconds. Now, whose fault do you think it is? In the situation, depending on your mindset, you could blame the Junkrat for existing, the Orisa for poor shield placement, or yourself for using your ability to keep 25 HP. Now, was that 25 HP worth the point? I'm gonna say not really. If you bring the attention to yourself and realize that you acted way too soon for that, you're more likely to correct it. Forget about having a bad team comp or poor teammates, you could have carried them with that Reflect. Your teammates will not improve during the match, but you can. And carrying a team takes a lot of effort, but it is extremely rewarding if you can pull it off. Which is kind of part of the mentality. Try to carry every match as hard as you can. Although carrying means playing well enough for 2 or 3 people, the rewarding SR will bring you into places where you find other people who carried other teams, and you suddenly don't need to carry anymore. There are a whole bunch of small things you can improve upon too, like I should have stayed farther back so I didn't get hit as much, or I shouldn't have overextended and died, or I should have body blocked damage while healing my critical teammate instead of letting them die. After the general improvements, those are the kind of little things you'll begin to master over time, but if you don't think about every little thing you could have done to play better, it'll be a long and difficult journey ahead of you. The reason this video was titled How to Rank Up with Mindsets is because aiming and game sense aren't the driving factors behind getting better at Overwatch. In fact, some of the heroes don't aim at all, and some of them are just easier to play than others. The great thing about changing your mindset is that you don't need to watch a bunch of aiming tutorials or extensive guides. Of course, I did watch all those things too, but it was really the way I looked at mistakes and losses that helped me far more than any of those videos did. You can just rank up out of silver or gold and not be great at aiming, and you can have poor game sense, but that's the point about getting better. You don't need to be a game sense mastermind or an aiming god to be good at Overwatch. To get good, you just need to understand what made you bad and how to make yourself better. I hope you enjoyed the insight into how you can become a much better player just from thinking differently. I apologize if this video was a little bit on the heavier and deeper side of things, but you know, it's more important than people take it to be, and I think it's a great strategy for ranking up. Of course, it has its limits like everything else. For instance, diamond level play is a lot about aiming, so the whole mindset thing doesn't work as well, but for getting out of platinum and below it, it works really well. This is Carter signing off, and as always, have a fantastic day.